Good morning student, I am Professor Rupali Mane of Department BBA. Today we are taking the lecture of Introduction to .NET Framework. What is the exactly .NET it is? So .NET is not a language, it is a platform we have to use to build the different applications like web application, window application and so on. So today we have just take the introduction about .NET Framework, what the .NET is all about. So the next slide is what is it is. .NET, what is it? So .NET is a platform. What I am saying, .NET is not a language, it is a platform we have to use to develop different applications like web applications, window applications and so on. So that's why we have to use the different languages like a neutral languages. We can say using the .NET or using the .NET platform we have to use VB.NET, C#.NET, VC++.NET, ASP.NET and so on. So using this .NET platform we have to build different application using the different languages. So in other words, .NET is not a language or it is a runtime and a library for writing and executing written program in any complete compliant languages. So the next slide is, so what is .NET? .NET is the new framework of developing web-based application within the Microsoft environment, because the .NET package is included in the Microsoft. In the Microsoft we have to use these different applications. The framework offers a fundamental shift in Microsoft strategy. It moves application development from client centric to server centric. While you are developing the web based application, in that we have to say there are two sides of it, that is the front end and back end. In front end we have to use the client centric applications, and in the back end we have to use server centric applications. In the next, what is .NET it is? So these are the basic .NET framework diagram or the .NET application, how the .NET actually it is. So .NET is the application, in that .NET is the framework, and in the .NET framework we operating system and the hardware. So using the operating system and the hardware, at the combination of OS and hardware, we have to develop the .NET framework, and using the .NET we have to use different, we have to build and create the different applications. So this is the .NET framework, or we can say in this .NET framework we have to exactly know what is it is. So I am saying the .NET is the platform, in that we have to use different languages like a VB, VC++, V#, and JavaScript and so on, like ASP.NET. So in that we have to use common language specification. In short we have to say CLS. In that we have to use the different languages. Then next, there are two forms of applications we have to develop, the window forms and the web form. In the web form we have to use the ASP.NET, and for the window form we have to use the VB, VC++, V# and so on. So in ADO.NET is basically used for the database creation. While you have to use the server side applications, or we have to store the different database in one place, that time we have to use ADO.NET. Okay, in that we have to use data and XML. Then next is the base class library. We have already said there are numbers of standard library we have to use. In that there are different inbuilt classes, functions, methods are included. So just like other languages, in .NET also we have to use the base class library, and using this base class we have to use different inbuilt methods and functions. Then the next is the common language runtime, that is called CLR. Just we have to say कि CPU is the brain of a computer. Same like CLR, that is the common language runtime, is the brain of the .NET framework. Without the CLR we cannot execute any single program. So using the CLR is convert the program in the MSIL code, and after that MSIL code will be convert your program in the executable binary code. And this is the actual Visual Studio .NET. So this is the basic diagram of .NET framework in .NET. So these are the different services used in .NET framework. The first is the common language runtime, Windows Forms. In that ASP.NET we have to use web forms, web services, ADO.NET, evaluation of ADO, and the Visual Studio.NET. We can, all these information we have to check in that the basic .NET framework diagram. Then the CLR, just I am saying is CLR is the brain of the .NET framework. Without the CLR we cannot execute any single program. So what is the exact work of CLR? The CLR works like a virtual machine in executing all languages. So .NET languages must obey the rules and standards imposed by CLR examples. Just like you have to create the classes, declare the object, use that object for executing the classes. Then we have to use different data types, language libraries using the base libraries. Then we have to use exception handling concept to catch the runtime errors, and we have to use IDE, that is the interactive development environments. So just like a Microsoft has the IDE, that is the common development environment. In same like a .NET has also different languages, in that languages have the IDE, that is the interactive development environment. So you can easily use .NET framework in any languages. Then the same common language runtime, you have to use mixed language using that .NET framework. Then some common language specification, how to create the data type, how to execute that data type, how to build that data type. Then common type system. In .NET there are one features which is not included or you can see in any different languages. Just like if you have to use the concept of inheritance. In inheritance we have to use one class, parent class is inherited in the in child class. So in .NET framework also we have to, if we have to create the class in VB.NET and one class in C#.NET, there also we have to inherit, using the inherited concept, we have to use these classes or inherited. So the syntax of VB.NET and C#.NET is different, but using the features of common type system, we easily inherited that classes without any changing in the code. Then the next is automatic memory management. When you are declare the variables, then automatically the memory will be allocated that variable, and after the execution of code and after the end of the code, the object which you have created for the class, this object is automatically deallocate or delete or remove from the memory. So this is the one feature, automatic memory management in CLR. The next is the consistent error handling and safer execution. We have easily handle the error and execute the code easily and securely. And the next is the potentially multi-platform. Just I am saying you can develop your application in any languages and you can use different multi-platform programming methods to execute the .NET framework. Then next is the deployment. Deployment means what? When you create your project or application and you have to execute that project, you have to create one .exe file, and easily when you are creating or you can double click on that exe file, the file will be deployed or it will be executed easily. So in the deployment method you can easily remove of registration dependency, and safely you can create your project or application in different versions without any problem. Then next is the common language runtime. In common language runtime we have to use different multiple languages, and these multiple languages easily support or executed in .NET framework. So for the shortcut, common type system is a rich type system built into the CLR. So implement various types like int, double, etc., and different operation on different data types will be performed. So CLS is a set of specification that language and library designer needs to follow. So this will be ensure the interoperability between the languages and the different languages. So student, these are the different or basic information about the what the .NET it is, how the CLR work, what is the CTS, what is the CLR, and all this information, basic information we have to conduct in this session. Thank you.